Hi, a big welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Now, soufflés are a bit of a black art in baking, and they're really not that complicated as long as you follow some simple rules. And I'm going to show you today how to do that. Another black art, well, black bananas. The other day, I had some brown bananas on the side and I thought I might make some banana muffins or banana bread. People tend to throw them away. 2 or 3 days later, I've got black bananas. These are still great to use. They're full of caramelization, and we're going to use them today to make a banana rum and raisin souffle. Come on, let me show you how. Let's get started by making a creme patissier or a pastry cream, which is really just a thick custard, very simple. Now very quickly, take a cup of full cream milk, pop it into a saucepan and bring it up to the boil on the stove. Don't let it overboil, it makes a right mess. Now I've put 3 egg yolks into a bowl. Keep these egg whites aside, we'll want them later on. In with those egg yolks, I'm just going to put 3½ tablespoons of sugar. I'm just going to start to whisk that together. You want to be fairly vigorous here. You'll notice the egg yolks start to lighten. And because we want a nice thick custard, I'm going to put a tablespoon of regular all-purpose flour and ½ tablespoon of corn flour into that. And continue to whisk. I really want you to go the effort and make this a lovely light colour. And very quickly, if you've kept an eye on that milk, it's come up to a boil now. I want you to drop just the smallest splash into there and then get away and work your muscles. We're just stopping those eggs from cooking off, tempering them. It's almost like a frothy cream now. And now we can add the rest of that hot milk in there. All together, whisk as you go, just for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to pour that back into our saucepan. Now come and join me back over on the stove. Okay, on the stove on a medium heat, we're going to whisk vigorously and get the whisk right into the corners. We don't want it to burn. And what I tend to do is just lift the pan a little bit off the heat just so it doesn't get too hot. And you'll see now that that has started to thicken beautifully, and we now have this wonderful, thick, ready to use custard. And then I'm just going to take a spatula and put this thick custard into a bowl. And now what we're going to do is take some plastic wrap and not put it actually over the bowl, but put it up against the custard itself, touching the surface so that it doesn't form a skin. We're going to pop that in the fridge and let it completely chill down. Okay, humdingity, while they cool down, let's get and make the rum and raisins. ½ cup of raisins into a smaller saucepan. I've got 2 tablespoons of soft brown, dark brown sugar. And I've also got 1/3 cup of a dark rum. We're going to pop that on the stove and bring that up to a simmer. And once that's simmering and all the sugars have dissolved, we're going to turn it off and leave it to cool. And once they've cooled down, they're going to plump up, absorb all that syrupy rum, and they're going to taste just fantastic. Now we're going to coat the inside of our ramekins with a little bit of softened butter, and we want to get a nice even coating. Now, to be honest, I don't always use a brush. I quite often happy, if you've got clean hands, to take your finger in there and get a good even coating. Make sure you get all into the corners. And then we take one of those ramekins, pop some castor sugar in there, nice fine castor sugar. And what I'm going to do is I want to twist the ramekin around and just get a nice even coating of sugar on the inside of this ramekin. And what that'll do, as the souffle rises, it'll just let it slide up out of the ramekin and we get no sticking. And now it's time to get those black bananas unpeeled. Now I know they're a little dark, but I can tell you they taste delicious. They're so sugary at this stage. Now just get a fork and start to mash the banana down. Then we're just going to take the rum and raisin. We just want to get the sauce. Try to keep the raisins back if you can. Pop it in with the banana. Don't worry if the odd one drops in there, we are going to be adding it in a moment. Just going to mix that together with that banana. And then I'm just going to add the raisins and any extra juice that's there. And that's the basis for our rum and raisin banana mix. So now I've got my pastry cream or creme patissier out of the fridge. Just take that plastic wrap off the top there. And now we're going to take that rum and raisin, just pour it on top of the creme patissier or the custard. And I'm going to whisk this together until I get a nice smooth cream. And we'll pop that back in the fridge just for a moment while we prepare our egg whites. So we're going to be baking these soufflés very soon, so get your oven on 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. Now I like to put it a little higher while I'm warming it up because when I open the door, the heat comes out, and then I'll drop it down to 180, 350 when the soufflés go in. And we're going to cook those for about 12-14 minutes. We're going to keep a close eye on them. Now those egg whites that we had, we've put them into a bowl here. I'm going to put a squeeze of lemon, just a little bit, to keep the egg whites a vibrant white. And we're just going to whisk these up until they're soft peaks. That's what we're looking for. And now I need to add a little bit of sugar, some castor sugar into here, about 3½ tablespoons, which is about 50 grams. Just put them in one at a time. And this is going to bring a lovely glossiness to these whites. You see now how beautiful and silky they look. Let's just set those aside and start assembling our souffle. First thing we want to do is take these lovely silky egg whites, and we just want to take about 1/3 of that egg white and pop it in with our custard. And we don't need to fold in at this moment. We can actually whisk this in fairly vigorously. Now I want you to get rid of the whisk at this point though, because we're going to put the rest of the egg whites in there, and this time we're going to be a lot more gentle. We're going to use a spoon or a spatula, and we're just going to fold this in. Just use an action like this gently until we get a smooth, even paste. We're trying not to knock too much air out of the mixture. Now we're going to take this mixture and put it into our ramekins. Not too much at first, just a couple of spoonfuls. And the reason we're not completely filling them is we're just going to tap them down and get all that souffle into the corners. And now we're just going to top these up all the way to the top. So I've taken them right to near the top like that. They're ready to go straight in the oven and be cooked. Now it's a lot easier if you pop all your souffles onto a baking tray like this, a little bit of space around them, so you can put them all in the oven in one hit. Now look at those souffles, they've just come out. I am going to put a little bit of icing sugar on these. Just take a look down here. And I've got to just decorate the tops there. Don't they look gorgeous? I've got to take some photographs of these now, and they're going to drop right back down. So when I try them in the moment, they're going to be flat as pancakes. But just take a look at that one there. I mean, it's a little too hot to handle. Doesn't that look delicious? So I'm back from the camera shoot, and these are still piping hot. Come and have a look at just how soft this is going to be. I'm really pleased with the way these have come out. I mean, I'm going to try this now. Beautiful and light, just like a summer cloud. It's going to be a bit hot, so be careful. Rum, raisin, no wasted bananas. They're going to taste fantastic. You guys are going to have to get off because I've got to eat this while it's warm. And the importance with souffles is serving them quickly, because if you leave them 10, 15 minutes or so before you serve them, they'll drop right back down. Okay, be good. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. And I hope that inspires some of you to get out there and try a souffle. This is a little more complicated than some with the heavy fruits in there, but it worked really well. I'm happy with it. I'll leave some links up there. I love to hear your comments as always. Be good. See you next time.